Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our journaling session. Today, we are going to be talking about how to journal in the morning. More specifically, we are going to review 5 different prompts to help you start your day right. I am going to be walking you through the questions that I like to ask myself in the morning to set the tone for the day. And these are the questions that I do turn to when I want to feel clear, grounded, and also one of the most important parts of this is that idea of I want to be intentional before my day begins. And so if you have ever woken up, or even if today you woke up feeling a little overwhelmed or just stuck on what to write in your journal, or you're trying to bring more meaning into your mornings, this is the right place to be. We are going to do a deep dive into those 5 prompts. So the first thing I want to know with everyone on here is if you are a morning journaler already, or if you are trying to start your journaling session. I have always liked to journal in the morning. I sometimes will journal at night when I've had a long day, but I find that I'm more motivated in the morning. I'm such a morning person that this is when I can dive in and get the day started. I am using the Define Soft Cover Planner. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this. This is that beautiful Scenic Valley color. And let's dive in. So first and foremost, why does journaling in the morning or at all really matters? So you'll hear a lot of people talk about journaling, but the reason that I personally think it matters and is super helpful is that it really just clears off that mental dust and lets you choose your energy before the world chooses it for you. And that is something I want you to really hone in on, is how can I choose my energy today rather than letting others dictate that for me. Instead of, because I was someone who used to wake up and just go straight into my to-do list. And when you live like that, you'll be halfway through your day before you even think about how do I want to feel today or what I want to focus on. And so journaling will give you that pause. It gives you a moment to ask yourself, okay, what do I actually want from today? This is going to help reduce your anxiety and give your brain a safe space to download your thoughts. It's also going to build your emotional awareness and help you create intention instead of just reacting to whatever happens. And on that amazing note, I'm excited to dive into prompt number 1 with you. So let me open up to my next blank page. Hey, Becca, good morning. I want you all to grab your journal, grab a piece of paper if you don't have a journal with you. And as I'm going through all these different prompts, let me know any questions you may have, anything that comes up for you, or any answers that you have to these prompts that you want to share with us. That's what this session's all about, is growing and learning from one another as I walk you through these 5 prompts to start your journaling morning session off right. Okay? For this sake, I am going to be using 2 colored pens. I went ahead and I'm going to be using the pink Pilot G2 pen. This is going to represent the different prompts. So when you're seeing the pink, that means I am writing a prompt. The gray is going to be different ways that you can answer the question. So an example answer. Okay. So let's dive in. Now you can do this over a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or over your morning breakfast. Just designate a time in your morning on a consistent basis to connect with yourself, to do this journaling. Add it to your daily routine, okay? That's going to be key. Set it to your trackers. Okay, morning journaling session. Let's say you like to do it around 8 o'clock. You feel like, okay, it's not quite work time yet, but I'm ready to get the day started. I want you to set that as your daily routine and check it off every day. And see how you feel before and after. Hey, Sil. Hey, Hope. Good morning. The first prompt that we are going to start this with is, what do I want from today? Okay, so I'm going to start by writing that out for you. Prompt 1. What do I want from today? I encourage you guys to answer these questions along with me. Okay. So you'll see question 1. What do I want from today? This is going to be your opportunity to set your intention before your schedule, life sets it for you. It doesn't have to be a checklist item. I want to emphasize that. It can focus on a feeling. It can also be a quality or something that you hope to embody for the day ahead. So think about what would make today feel like a win. What would make you proud, fulfilled, or even at peace by the end of the day? I want you guys to let me know your answer in the comments if you're comfortable too. So some examples. I want to feel calm even when the day gets busy. Which is a really hard thing to do. Hey, Christy, I personally know that when life gets really busy, I tend to feel my energy shift. It gets chaotic. And you know what? We're going to hone into let's feel calm in those crazy moments. I want to feel calm. Even when the day gets busy. You can also do a checklist item if that's what feels most aligned with how you are going about today. So maybe you also want to finish a creative project that you have, or you're on a deadline and you really want to get that done and not get distracted. We all know how easily it is to get distracted, especially when your phone is nearby. So let's tap into how can I finish my creative project and not get distracted. That's our goal for today. That is how I want you to think about this. I want you to think about it. What is one thing that's mine today? Not what you owe others, but what you want to give yourself. Because maybe by giving, as a 22-year-old guy, oh, thank you, JJ. JJ said, as a 22-year-old guy, I found woman-owned brands are so thought out and I guess polished. We are very thoughtful here at Define. We put honestly our heart and soul into it. We want everyone to navigate each day with purpose. That is our goal for each and one of you. And really, the reason why I'm doing this journaling session is to help encourage you all to go through your day with intention, is to start it off with some purpose, some sense of control. I know life as you go throughout the day, you tend to feel less in control, but this is going to help us not let that energy shift us, okay? We are going to focus on how we can control our energy every morning. Amazing. Welcome. I'm so grateful for this beautiful community that we are building here. I want to finish my creative project and not get distracted. Easier said than done. But this is another thing that when you are answering these questions, I want you to focus on the fact that you can do this. You are the reason whether you can. You decide whether you can or you can't. So by being intentional, you're going to notice, okay, I accomplished this. Hey, Grains. So that's a little example of prompt number 1, how you are going to start this day off with intention. The next prompt, this one is a must whenever I grab my journal. So I always include it because I find it really helps to shift the mindset, is gratitude. So prompt number 2. This is a pretty standard one when it comes to journaling. And the reason why is because gratitude is a perspective shifter. So let's ask ourselves, what am I grateful for this morning? And then the reason I also love gratitude is because even on a rough day, on a day where things just feel like they're not going your way, you can start it off with finding one thing that you can come back to and remember. I love my morning cup of coffee or my TikTok community, and this can help ground you. It can help, and I don't mean grounding in terms of humbling. I mean finding peace, finding connection, and a way to ground your mind. Because in these moments when life gets hard, when things are not going the way that you ideally would like, because let's face it, that happens. It's something nice that you can come back to and recenter yourself. Recenter is the word that I like to use when it comes to gratitude. And you don't need your gratitude to sound poetic, to sound deep. It just needs to be something that resonates with you. It is personal. We all have something that really makes us so grateful. It could be 3 things. It could be one thing. Just ask yourself, what is something small but meaningful you're grateful for today? Okay? I'm trying to take a moment and think about that myself. I felt so grateful for a morning walk. It is nothing crazy. It's not this insane walk. It's a nice, I would say 45-minute walk around the block, up a little bit. And I really miss them on the days that I can't get them in. If yesterday it was pouring rain in the morning, so you know what? Even in the morning, I went in the afternoon. Grains and Maine said, speaking of rough days, I want journaling to help through those times, but it's also harder then. Tips. Great question. I love that question. Let me think for a moment because I want to make sure I'm answering this in a way that's going to work best. I think with journaling, one of the things that can be put out there is that, let me start this over, because one thing actually is, I think a lot of times we are hesitant to journal during the rough times because we feel as though once you put it out on paper, it's reality. That at least is something I notice with myself. But what I encourage you to do is take a step back in those harder moments and ask yourself when you approach your journal is, what do I want to get from this journaling session? Maybe in those harder times, you are not looking to journal about them. And I know that might sound funny because you're like, isn't this the point of journaling, is to put it all on paper? And the answer is, yeah, it is. But it's also can be an escape tool. It can be a way to refocus and rewire the way that the day is going. So I would encourage you to take a step back and see, okay, what do I want? Maybe you change this to, instead of what do I want from today, what do I want from this journaling session? What is it that I'm ready to let go of? And what is holding me back? How do I want to shift the way I'm thinking about this? And that's something that I'm definitely, if you don't mind, I'm going to use that question again in a video because I think that's something that is such a great point, because putting something on paper tends to feel more permanent. But the point is not to necessarily go back and read all your entries. It is to get it off of your mind in that moment, because you have to put it somewhere. Does that help, Grains? I also, absolutely, such a great question. You're always having like the best questions. I also had Thursday mornings, I like to do a little muffin for breakfast to mix it up, and I'm honestly grateful for that. It was just a little treat. So that is how I encourage you to go about a gratitude prompt. The next thing that I want you to do is for prompt 3. Is I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing I'll do today that supports my goal? Let me write this down as we talk about it. Hey Mara, good morning. So what this prompt is about is taking an intentional, a purposeful step towards something bigger. Because we all have these goals that we say we want, that we think we want. But it's hard on a daily basis to refocus on those, especially, again, coming back to those when the times are tough. But to recenter and refocus our mindset, I want us to instead ask ourselves, instead of let's just get through the day, let's think of what is something I can do today to help me support my goals. So that way, through those tougher times, you are still having that sense of progress. And it can be little, it can be big, it can truly be something that is just going to help you. So instead of making just a massive to-do list, start your day by asking yourself, what is one thing I can do today to move forward? That's what we want. It's small progress over time because that is what adds up. That's what helps us build that consistency. So maybe today you're going to send that email you keep putting off. It could also be, it doesn't have to necessarily be a to-do task, like a checklist. It could also be part of your routine. I remember when we were setting up for April, we were talking about how it's so hard to be consistent with a routine. So maybe today you want to be consistent in your morning routine. And maybe it goes with, I want to go for a morning walk. You're going to go for a morning walk right after you do your journaling session. Amazing. You could also, instead of pushing through the day when, like, maybe you're working on a project and it's really struggling you, that creative project that we're talking about that you want to finish, maybe instead of focusing so much on, I have to get this done, you actually can take a break when you feel overwhelmed. When you're feeling stuck on the details, take a step back. So take a break when you're feeling overwhelmed, not a long break because we can't just be taking breaks all the time, but take a 5-minute break instead of focusing so much on the details. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know if you guys do this. I do it all the time where it's like, you need to get something done. And so you keep spending so much time on this one little detail of the project. And you're like, I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere with this. Okay, instead of trying to keep going as you often would, let's break that cycle and take a 5-minute break. Just to reset our minds. Maybe get a cup of tea in that moment. Trying to get big on tea. So that is another shift that I'm hoping to get through. So maybe that's another answer for this. I hope this is making sense. Again, let me know when you guys have any questions. That's what this is all about. So So maybe I can't think of a better word than overwhelmed right now. Hey, Brandy, thank you. And also thank you, Mara. But that's the only word that's coming to mind. Almost like you're pushing the gas pedal and you're not going anywhere. Okay. Burnt out could be one feeling. I guess I'm trying to think of it more in terms of like, because burnt out usually has that longer time span with it. And in this instance, if you're trying to get a project done and you really want to complete it and you have to get it done, instead of letting that burnt out feeling take over, I just want you to take a break for 5 minutes just to collect yourself and get excited again about it, because we need to make sure that we are moving in the right direction always. Okay, the next question. This one you're going to be like, isn't this what we answered? But we haven't answered it yet. This is, how do I want to feel today? Now, this is completely different than what do I want from today. So I want you to ask yourself for prompt 4, how do I want to feel today? The reason I love, this might just be one of my favorite questions to ask myself in my morning journaling session, is because we can't control others. We can't control how they react, how they respond, but we can control our response, our feelings. How do you want to feel today is up to you. So we always plan our days over and around, what do we need to do today? And again, coming back to that word do, what do we need to do today? But what if we planned it around both? What do we need to do and how do we want to feel? I think that that is a really interesting thing to think about and take with you as you go through the day, the week, is because when you name how you want to feel first, whether it's peaceful, empowered, determined, or focused, you are going to naturally begin to choose actions that support this feeling. And I love that fact. I love that point, because that is how we are going to align how we want to feel and how we actually feel. So an example of this is, I want to feel focused, but not stressed. So again, coming back to the idea of I am making progress, but I'm enjoying it. I'm not stressed. I'm really just doing what I need / want to be doing to get this done. Because I think a lot of times we we connect focus with stress, but they don't have to correlate together. Maybe another thing is, I want to feel joyful and light. So asking yourself is, how would you move through today if you already felt that way? I want you to check in with yourself too throughout the day as you're doing this, because as you go about the day and you are making different decisions and you're choosing, okay, even like the little things, like what do I want for lunch? If you want to feel your best self, if you want to feel like you are moving in the right direction and doing something that aligns with truly what you want, how would you make your decision based on that? Sometimes I think it's like that fake it till you make it attitude, where it's, okay, you know what? If I want to feel confident speaking up today, even if I don't feel confident, I'm going to speak up and let it come to me. Does that make sense too? What is it that you all want to feel today? I think sometimes we focus so much on how we're feeling that we forget that we could change how we want to feel. I mean, we're all in the same, to a certain extent, of course, but if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling like, I'm just not in the mood today, what would you do differently if you were? Maybe you just try it. Try it that way and see if it works. See if you get a different end result than how you would normally do it, because nothing's going to change if you don't change, right? If you keep doing that same thing over and over again, nothing's going to look differently. You're just going to get frustrated and honestly irritated by yourself, by others, and that is the feelings I want you to counteract. And that is what this journaling session is going to help you do. This is how we can go through the day and just set it up for us as much of a successful day as we want. And then this fifth prompt, the last prompt that I want you to start with. Now, when you're answering these, you can write as much or as little as you want. I think what's important about journaling is that you're just starting to think differently. You're recognizing, what do I want from today? Okay, maybe I want to feel calm even when the day gets busy, versus that, how do I want to feel today? And you can connect them. So how do I want to feel today? And what do I want from today? Well, connect that through that one thing that'll support your goals. So all of these connect and they help to shift your day off with purpose. The last thing I always have you do, and I always will say time and time again, is to write a positive affirmation for today. I can't tell you enough how helpful it is to have an anchor that you can come back to anytime you feel off. These are such a game changer when it comes to how we speak to ourselves. I'll notice myself being a little less kind, not being kind to myself. I'll notice myself picking it apart, thinking, I'm just like, I can't do it. But you know what? That doesn't have to be the case. I was watching Starting Five, the basketball show. I also watched the Formula One docuseries. And as I'm watching this, the thing that keeps being so clear and apparent to me is that these athletes are not telling themselves anything besides I can. They believe in them so much. They believe in themselves so much that we believe in them. And I'm sitting there watching and seeing this in basketball, car racing. You'll see it in football, all of the different sports, even golf. And I'm like, that's the difference. And you know what's crazy is when you sit there, you're like, wow, these guys are confident. These guys, they have it. But last night I was thinking to myself, why can't we have that? Why can't I show up thinking I got this? Or you know what? I'm going to make this work. I can do whatever I set my mind to. And that is just something I wanted to come on and also share with you today, because I'm starting to notice that shift. And to see it and have that realization, it's crazy. So maybe today your intention is, I am enough as I am. Or today I lead with intention, not fear. I release the pressure to be perfect. I want to just list out a bunch of different ones. Let me know which ones are going to suit you best. What is your affirmation for today? And as you go through today, I want you to show up as though you have the confidence of an athlete. And it's just amazing to me that they truly believe in themselves more than anyone else. And that is the difference. I can't get over that. So I want that to be something I don't know if that resonates with you, but it's something that I think is really interesting to know and to consider as we go throughout our days. I am enough as I am. Write these in the present tense as though they came true. And I want you guys to come back to me. I want you guys to take whatever affirmation it is that you want for today. And I want you to repeat it for a week straight. So that way, when we have our next journaling session, our next whatever session it might be, and it could be earlier than that, you really can come back to me and say, hey, you know what? That affirmation really helps me. I want you to say, I started showing up and I'm starting to believe in myself more than I ever have before. Because why not? I am enough as I am. I release the pressure to be perfect. That's the craziest thing too, as I'm seeing it all, is that when you believe in yourself, other people do too. And at the end of the day, everyone around you can believe in you. But if you don't believe in yourself, what's going to happen? What's the point? So you know what? For that third affirmation for today, we are going to write, I believe in myself. Because I believe in all of you. And I'm going to go through today and the weekend with, I believe in myself. I got this. I just think that's such a beautiful thing in life, is to come back to. And I want to know, as we wrap up this journaling workshop for today, is how are you all feeling? Okay. Even if you were just following along or writing down a few words for each prompt, I want to know how it went for you, how you're feeling. And take a moment and be like, yes, you know what? Hold your head up higher. If you're slouching, sit up straight. I just did that to myself. And you know what? You are giving your day direction. You are going to choose yourself today. Woo! I loved that. If that is what is best for you, then that is amazing. And if any of these prompts stood out to you, let me just hold this up for a moment so you could also screenshot them or write them somewhere that you'll see in the morning. This is such an amazing way to kickstart the day and find direction as you go through it. So I want to thank you guys so much for sharing your energy with me this morning and really starting your day off with intention. This was our journaling session on 5 different prompts to set your day up for success. Thank you guys so much for being with me. And as always, continue to navigate each day with purpose. Bye.